Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao K. Kavitha today skipped the ED summons in the alleged Delhi excise policy scam. Kavitha, in a letter to the Enforcement Directorate, said that she has furnished all the relevant information and if the agency wants to speak with her, then she can be confronted at her residence as per the law. Kavitha even claimed that her fundamental rights were being blatantly infringed upon and said that there had been no confrontation that had taken place with any accused so far. Enforcement Directorate has again summoned her on the 20th of March. K. Kavitha was likely to be confronted with ex-aide Buchi Babu in the alleged liquor scam case. That's what sources indicated. Kavitha has received fresh summons for the 20th. Let's see if she appears or not. Let's first tell you what this case is about and what is ED investigating. Kavitha has been mentioned in the charge sheet filed by the Enforcement Directorate not as an accused, but someone who allegedly had a key role to play. She is accused of paying kickbacks amounting to about 100 crore rupees. CBI had earlier questioned K. Kavitha back in December 2022. She was also quizzed by the Enforcement Directorate for about 9 hours on the 10th of March. Kavitha right now has skipped the ED summons, saying that the probe is partial. What are the allegations against Kavitha that the agency is probing? These are key allegations. She's not accused in this case, so right now it still remains at the stage of investigation. Now, K. Kavitha was a key member of the South Group, quote-unquote. This South Group paid at least about 100 crore in kickbacks. The kickbacks was for the wholesale distribution of license for Indo Spirits. The allegation is that she is, quote-unquote, the real owner. K. Kavitha allegedly holds 65% stake in Indo Spirits that has been claimed. Indo Spirits received about 185% as wholesale profits in this alleged scam. The profits were devised to extract kickbacks from the Aam Aadmi Party. Kavitha also allegedly changed the IMEI number of her phone about 6 times, according to the ED charge sheet and the details that they have furnished so far. But what has she said in her defense? She has said that the probe may not have the sanctity of law. It's not free, fair or impartial. She has argued that the probe is completely maligned or it's a vitiated probe which is happening. She has argued that she's already furnished all relevant information that she had as a witness in this case. She's also argued before the Supreme Court in a special petition that her fundamental rights have been blatantly infringed upon. She's argued that she's not named in the FIR and the summons fall under the teeth of Section 160 of the Criminal Procedure Code, under which, according to her, no woman is required at any place other than her residence and she can claim this right. And this is not the only story. There are key central agencies like the Enforcement Directorate or CBI or even Income Tax. They have tightened the noose and various leaders of the opposition are facing the heat. And over a dozen of the opposition leaders are facing investigation by these agencies. Recently, 8 opposition parties have written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi alleging the misuse of central agencies to target members of the opposition. Well, let's talk about some of the key ongoing probe. First of all, Manish Sisodia, the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister who has been in custody for the Liquorgate scandal, now also faces a fresh CBI charge sheet. This is in a separate case of alleged Snoopgate. Sanjay Raut has faced arrest by the Enforcement Directorate over the Patra Chaul case, worth about 1,000 crore rupees. The matter is still under investigation. TMC's Partha Chatterjee has been named as an accused in the charge sheet filed by the CBI in the teacher recruitment scam after nearly 50 crore rupees was recovered in cash from several residences and places related to him and Arpita Mukherjee. TMC General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee, who is the nephew of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee, is named in the coal scam case by the Enforcement Directorate, a case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, these are key cases which are being probed. Not to forget that Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren, he has been named by the Enforcement Directorate in the alleged mining case, and this is in connection with the alleged money laundering of about 1,000 crore rupees in the illegal stone mining case from the Sahibganj district. This is our top 4 story this hour, and talking about the fact that this is law catching up or the witch hunt as accused by the opposition parties. We'll have both sides talking about this issue.
वजह से आपको अरेस्ट किया गया। Sir, sir.
अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब ने कहा है कि ये FIR तो एक कूड़ा है। अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब, सिर्फ एक कूड़ा कहने से काम नहीं चलने वाला, आपको बहुत सारे सवालों के जवाब देने हैं। सवाल पूछा जा रहा है कि आपने इसको फीडबैक यूनिट क्यों बनाया, आपने परमिशन LG साहब से क्यों नहीं ली थी, आपने स्नूपिंग यूनिट के लिए, स्नूपिंग इक्विपमेंट के लिए 1 करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए थे, कहाँ खर्च किए थे, इसका जवाब भी देना पड़ेगा।
Well, this is some kind of political vendetta, as the opposition accuses the central government of, or this is merely law catching up. Aprajita Sarangi of the BJP continues to be with us on the broadcast. Prashant Mane of BRS is with us on the show. Reena Gupta from the Aam Aadmi Party, and Mr. Shantanu Sen, who is the former joint director of the CBI. Aprajita ji, first to you. Why only opposition leaders? The argument of the opposition parties is that is BJP some kind of party where there can be no corruption, your leaders cannot be involved at all? You are using these central agencies to, target the opposition leaders, to blackmail them, and to make sure that the voice of the opposition is not heard properly.
Prime Minister Modi took over the reins of the government on 26th May 2014 and he emphatically said that he wanted to root out corruption and wanted to give a very clean administration and governance model to the country. And that's why he has done. See, I have come with facts and figures. It's good for us that our Enforcement Directorate and the CBI and the IT department are very active. During these 9 years, we have gone for 3,010 searches by ED, which is commendable. And in the last decade, I mean the decade of the UPA from 2004 to 14, only 112 searches had been done. They could attach proceeds worth rupees 4,000 crore, whereas in these 8 years, about 1 lakh crore rupees worth proceeds have been attached. So I think all of us should be very happy with the fact that these agencies are working. Now, as far as the allegation of the opposition is concerned regarding our pick and choose method, I think this is absolutely far from the truth. Baseless allegation. Whosoever is found guilty will be actually proceeded against. In fact, there are cases in Uttar Pradesh, in Madhya Pradesh, where BJP leaders have been actually proceeded against.
So Aprajita ji, you put out some interesting figures that during UPA, the attachment by the Enforcement Directorate was about 4,000 crores and 1 lakh crore, ever since the BJP government has been formed. What has been the conviction rate? Because the opposition says, look at the conviction rate. It's abysmally low.
But tell me, 23 convictions, yes, I understand. I have the figure. But there was nil conviction during their time. So I think everything is comparative and we are trying to actually improve the system. And that is why the people of the country understand the dialogue of the Prime Minister and the message conveyed by the Prime Minister, and that's why he is being blessed every time. In every election, the scoreboard is clear. So I think as far as corruption-free society is concerned, I think it's our combined responsibility to ensure that, and opposition should not crib about it, whether it is Hemant Soren or Lalu Yadav or Kavitha or Manish Sisodia. Whoever has done wrong actually will be proceeded against. Let the CBI, ED and the IT department do their work. In fact,
Prashant Mane, I'm coming to you and taking in a word from you. Have faith in the institutions, and why has the respected leader from your political party refused to appear before the Enforcement Directorate? I want to clarify here that she's not an accused in the case. Her legal status remains as a witness. But that being said, there are serious allegations which the Enforcement Directorate has made in the charge sheet. They go on to say that Kavitha is the actual owner of Indo Spirits. That's their apprehension, and they want to confront her with the evidence.
Well, as you rightly said, Anushaji, she is not an accused, but let the nation know that she is being abused by the ED on the behest of the government of India and Modi ji. Why? Because this is an election year. If she is not an accused, on what lines has the ED seized her mobile phone? Point one. If she is not an accused, how after past sunset has the ED inquired a lady at their office till 8:30 p.m. So definitely these are serious violations, and ED has clearly mentioned that either she or her representative should give an answer to this, and that is why we've sent the answers through our representative. And if we've asked the Supreme Court a relief because of this harassment by ED and the name calling by the Bharatiya Janata Party, because it is for the court to decide if we are accused or if we have any involvement or not. But the name calling, you see the Bharatiya Janata Party's IT cell puts up a hashtag calling Liquor Queen. Their MPs, Bharatiya Janata Party MPs, are keeping press meet, and as though they have seen this investigation, are already declaring in press conferences that Kavitha ji has not cooperated and she will be going to custody immediately. And what we say is, see, when Mr. Amit Shah could have relief from the court in the
I maintain as a journalist that her status is a witness. One second. I maintain, I'll come to you, Reena ji. Give me 30 seconds, I'll come to you. If there is nothing wrong that the leader has done, and if she is willing to cooperate in the investigation, why evade the ED summons? My simple question to you, Krishank ji.
See, she hasn't evaded the ED summons. When the CBI came to Telangana, to our land where our government is there, we did not create any obstructions. They came, they asked their questions. Simultaneously, when the ED gave the notice, we went there, we gave them answers. But what were the conditions? Number one, what did they say, Anusha ji? They said that there would be a confrontation with one accused, Mr. Arun Ramchandra Pillai. Did that happen? That did not happen. So the ED, on the name of investigation, is harassing a lady because Modi ji, his ED, his CBI, his IT want to take on KCR, who is the Chief Minister of Telangana. This is an attack on the government of Telangana, but using one lady, this ED has been doing harassment. See, Supreme Court relief is her constitutional provision.
Well, she's moved, and let's see what the court says on the matter. You have put your case and prayers before the Honorable Court. Let's see what they say. Before I go back to the BJP, Reena Gupta ji, coming to you. Various cases against key mantris, the former ministers of the Aam Aadmi Party, and today there's yet another special case around the quote-unquote Snoop Gate, which an investigation in which Manish Sisodia will be a part of. He's one of the key accused. For how long can you stick to the narrative that this is a witch hunt? According to the agencies, they have credible evidence, and that's why your leaders are not able to secure bail. Reena ji.
This is a witch hunt against Aam Aadmi Party. When you have uneducated people ruling the country who do not believe in the constitution, this is what happens. Aprajita ji was mentioning facts and figures. Let me add some more to that list. Since the time Modi ji has come to power, 95% of the cases are against opposition leaders. I challenge Aprita ji to name one leader from Bharatiya Janata Party that is behind bars on any ED case. That's point number one. Point number two, as you rightly said, the conviction rate is less than 1%. They feel very happy saying that so many thousands of crores of properties have been attached. These are all provisional attachments. If they have not been shown to be culpable in the court of law, all those properties go back to the people that have been wrongly accused. And let me quote just two examples. Conrad Sangma, I did not call him corrupt. Honorable Amit Shah ji was screaming on top of his voice, calling him the most brushed person in the country. Right after the elections, they have a government in partnership with Conrad Sangma, and suddenly he becomes the most orange person. He becomes Raja Harishchandra. Look at the case of Karnataka. The contractors of Karnataka are on record saying that Bharatiya Janata Party is asking for 40% bribes. And you saw the example yesterday, a newly constructed highway in Karnataka has fallen apart because all the money which should have been spent on the infrastructure in that state has gone into the pockets of Bharatiya Janata Party.
I take your broader point. I want Aprajita ji to come in, a quick response from her, and then I want to bring in Mr. Shantanu Sen. Aprajita ji, opposition has said this earlier as well, that BJP is some kind of washing machine. You know, you can be tainted, you can have many things against you, cases going on against you. The moment you switch sides, there would be no investigation against you. And the opposition is making a point that no big faces from the BJP BJP have been probed by these agencies. It's only the opposition which is in the line of fire. Aprajita ji.
Please go to the court of law if you have any kind of grievance of this nature. But the fact remains that the law has to take its course, and these agencies have been doing their job. Wherever there are issues, they would go and they would nab. See, all these people I mentioned, in fact, there are evidences against them. And as far as BJP leaders are concerned, in Madhya Pradesh, in Uttar Pradesh, everywhere, in fact, I have a list of names with me, ED and CBI have gone against them, whether the leader is small or big. So I think to say that we go just again against the opposition leaders is absolutely far from the truth. Why is the charge sheet so very serious? And in fact, let me have the data with you. In fact, Lalu Yadav is concerned. Yesterday's ED's report is 1 crore cash unauthorized was actually found out. $1,900 was found out during the raids. 540 gram of gold, half kg gold ornaments.
Okay.
And let me tell you that jobs have been given in lieu of land by Lalu Yadav and the team.
I want to bring in Shantanu sir. He's been patiently listening to the discussion. Mr. Shantanu Sen sir, you've been at the helm of affairs. You know how these agencies work. When you hear these key political parties saying that these agencies are being used/misused by the elected government, I remember the Supreme Court at one point saying that CBI is a caged parrot. Is there substantial evidence to say that these agencies can be misused? I mean, whenever a local police cannot handle the investigation, CBI is looked up to for its expertise, for its investigation, and then it becomes a political casualty in the political war. Shantanu sir.
History speaks for itself. CBI came into being way back in 1942. It was then known as the Special Police Establishment. Why did it come in? Why was it formed by an ordinance and followed by an act of the state? Because there was corruption in the War Department and British were fighting a war. They didn't care for corruption one bit till their war effort was impeded. And therefore they set up this organization called the Special Police Establishment. By 1963, it had been refurbished, renamed, restructured as the Central Bureau of Investigation. It had an act to back it up as far as the investigation was concerned. It had been created by a government order of 1st April 1963. And CBI made a name for itself. We all know that CBI reports were largely well received, and High Court judges and Supreme Court judges respected CBI.
Yes.
Why? Because CBI was a free bird. CBI was investigating all acts of corruption in the Prevention of Corruption Act. But there came a time in the late 90s, and thereafter CBI has been called a caged parrot or a caged investigating agency. Why? Because CBI's powers of investigation were curbed. Please understand history. CBI was told by no less than Rajiv Gandhi of the Congress government that you cannot investigate powerful people of the rank of Joint Secretary and above without my clearance. That was a single directive. And in the Hawala case, it was challenged, and the Supreme Court struck down that directive. But did the government give CBI respite? Even the Bajpayee government brought in a law in the CVC Act curbing CBI's power to investigate high and the mighty. And thereafter, that too was squashed. But then the present government in 2018 has brought a law where it has completely taken away the powers of CBI to investigate anybody on its own unless he is caught red-handed or he has assets disproportionate to his known sources of income. Any act of corruption on a policy decision, CBI cannot investigate. CBI will be directed to investigate. So all these investigations are on direction of the appointing authority.
Well,
and
sir,
that is the government.
As I close
finds
this debate,
corruption
you have given us a peep into the history. And political masters from whichever side have often tried to control such agencies, and for obvious reasons. We hope that our agencies are far more independent in the times to come. Thank you. I thank Aprajita Sarangi, Krishank Pani, Reena Gupta and Shantanu Sen for joining us on the broadcast. Well, that battle between the opposition and the government will continue. Whether the agencies are being used/misused or the law catching up, only time will tell once we have verdicts coming in from the courts. Slipping into a very short break, coming up next on the other side, all about Eric Garcetti, the newly appointed US envoy to India. Stay tuned.